Hi, welcome back to Balanced with Bailey. I'm so excited for today's episode and chit chat. I want to start off by talking about the event just for a little bit. I am so grateful. Thank you all so much for coming. It was so much fun. It was the perfect way starting spring, March 1st, in our pastels, doing Pilates, drinking coffee. So many people came. It was so much fun. Both Pilates classes were waitlisted and everyone got to go. It was so much fun. I am so grateful for the community that we're building and seeing everyone there in person, just hanging out, drinking coffee, connecting, getting tattoos and B12 shots and permanent jewelry. It was overall amazing and so much fun. If you couldn't make it, I posted recaps on the TikTok and Instagram, Balanced with Bailey. So if you missed it, go check that out to see. And I can't wait for our next event and community meetup. We'll see what kind of happens this summer. I'm feeling something outside because it is just so nice out. I just got back from a hot girl walk and spring is in full swing. We are officially out of the winter blues, we're out of the winter months, and it is only up from here. So we're going to be talking all about nursing. So this is for the nurse girlies. If you're a nurse girly, listen up. I hit my 1 year as a nurse in the PICU. I worked the past 3 nights, and I was sitting there and I was like, wait, a year ago today, I had my first 12-hour PICU shift as a nurse on orientation, and I'm officially off of my 6-month orientation and I hit a year. So I've been a nurse for a little bit now. I still consider myself a new grad because our new grad residency class, I skipped a few of them. So I have a few to make up. But once I'm done with that class, I won't be a new grad anymore in my mind. So until then, I still get to call myself a new grad. Even though there are a lot of new hires and younger new grads than me, I'm holding on to the title as long as I can. I don't want to be a full grown-up nurse yet, even though I would probably be considered that by most, not myself. I was sitting there and when I had some time off, I started to create this list. And I have a list, 17 things that I just thought of off the top of my head that I learned over this past year as a nurse that I wish someone would have told me and has made all of the difference in being a nurse, how I work a 12-hour shift, just emotionally, physically, everything that benefits me and that I do that I think makes everything so much better. So we're going to start by going just through the list and chit-chatting about them. So this is my official 1 year as a nurse list of how I stay successful, young, and hot as a nurse. So let me know what you think of each one. We're starting off. Number 1, 12-hour shifts are long, so you have to set yourself up for success. You are there majority of your day or night. Like the clock will have 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. while you're still there. If you think about it that way, it is just brutal. So you need to set yourself up. We're not rolling into work unprepared. We are showing up ready. We're showing up prepared and bringing that mindset because you can't have a bad mindset for 12 hours. That's just not going to work. That's not how we're rolling. So set yourself up for success. Number 2, bring snacks. We are not eating the entire shift. I am constantly snacking, even on night shift. I am always starting off the shift with a coffee. We're bringing yogurt, granola, a healthy packed protein. I like protein puffs or protein chips, like healthy options, but where we can still snack. We're not restricting ourselves because you're there for so long. You need to fuel your body or else you won't be in your best physical or mental shape to help take care of others. So we are bringing snacks. We're eating healthy. Even if you're buying lunch, bring a breakfast or a dinner. When I work night shift, I save my breakfast until like 5 or 6 in the morning. And then I have some yogurt or some cottage cheese and just kind of start, or protein shake. And I have my morning snack then versus when I work a day shift. I'm bringing a coffee and then I'm having my breakfast by like 9 a.m. And even if it's just 5 minutes or just like a quick run back into the break room, shovel a few bites in your mouth, like you need to have those snacks and break up the shift that way because we're fueling our bodies. If you show up hot, you feel hot. As a nurse, I know, especially working night shift, it's so easy to throw on your basic old scrubs, put your hair up in a bun, no makeup, and just go to work. But I'm not doing that anymore. We're not doing that. We're putting on our cute scrubs. We're putting on some blush, some concealer, mascara if you want to get crazy. We're doing our hair. If it's slicking it back, wearing it down, putting on a headband. Like, we're looking cute for work because if you show up hot, you feel hot. And again, you're there for 12 hours. You don't want to feel crummy the entire time. You want to feel hot. And it's not like you're trying to impress anyone. I'm not trying to impress my 12-month-old patient, but I'm going to feel better. You're going to be taken more seriously. And who doesn't want to feel hot at work? It's just how it is. And you're going to feel so much better if you show up looking your best. Not saying you have to every time, because there are days when you just physically can't, or it's your third shift or your fourth shift if you picked up, and it's just not going to happen. But that first day, that first shift of the week, you got to show up hot, and it's for yourself, but you just got to do it. So hard truth, hard love, talking to myself majority of the time right now, because night shift, I just throw on a crew neck and go. No, we're waking up, we're getting ready. We're having a full little morning routine, if it's at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. I wear, as I said, I love a good crew neck, but I wear Fabletics scrubs majority of the time. They're my favorite. They are cheaper than other brands. They literally look identical and they're so cute. So right now, I am obsessed with high-waisted straight leg scrub pants. So cute. We're not wearing joggers. I'm sorry. If you're wearing joggers, I know you're a millennial or older. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but straight leg scrubs are where it's at. We're wearing cute matching scrubs. Cute little vests. Love a vest. Love a little jacket. Love a blank crew neck. I love wearing blank crew necks because then you can match it with whatever scrubs you're wearing. Or if I'm wearing like my white shoes, I'm going to wear my white headband. We love a cute headband too. There's so many ways to accessorize it, even though like you can't wear rings or jewelry or anything like that. I wear my Bailey necklace all the time. So I always keep this on. And then I just put in one pair of little hoops because I don't need 6 earrings in my ears when I'm working. I wear my little hoop earrings and my Bailey necklace, and that's good. I call it at that. And of course my nose ring I never take out, but honestly I forget that it's there. Little dainty things, you know. So you have to wear cute scrubs and cute shoes because you can't accessorize in other ways. And again, it just makes you feel hot and you show up hot. This next one, number 5, is get sleep. It's easy to not prioritize sleep, but when you're working 12-hour shifts and you work this, if you work night shift, you work the same day that you leave and you come back, or day shift, you go home for like what feels like 3 hours. You have to prioritize your sleep, because if you don't sleep, your brain is not going to be on and you're not going to make the right decisions when you're critically thinking because you're tired. So we're prioritizing sleep. We're getting as much sleep as we can. Night shift, we're knocking ourselves out with melatonin at 8 a.m. Day shift, we're coming home and we are immediately showering, pajamas, food, bed. Like, we are optimizing our sleep. Number 6, find comfort people. When you're a new grad, depending on, not even a new grad, when you're just a new nurse, you need to find your comfort people that you can go to and ask the dumb questions, because they're gonna not judge you and help you and give you tips, show you different things about the unit, tell you the truth about certain things. Like, you just need to find those comfort people that you can go to and even complain to or confide in, that aren't going to judge you, aren't going to go tell the whole unit what you're saying. And it just makes such a difference to have a circle knowing, okay, I can go to this person. I would go to them before I would go to this other person. You are, again, there for 12 hours, 3 days a week. So you start to get to know everyone pretty well and get pretty close and personal. Everyone kind of knows everything. So take those comfort people and choose what you share with everyone. And those comfort people are just going to be someone you can immediately go to in a situation, and they're going to be there for you. Number 7, everything is new, especially as a new grad. It's not just a new job. It's not just a new unit or hospital. Everything is completely new. You've never been a nurse before. So remember that everything is new. It's going to be so overwhelming. There's so many things going on. So many people, you thought you knew something. You thought you knew how it would go and it didn't. You just have to accept the fact everything is so new. It's going to be okay. You're going to learn. You're going to figure it out. But for right now, it's all new. Roll with it. Number 8, everyone makes mistakes. You have to own your mistakes in nursing. If you make a mistake, you need to know what to do and how to fix it. I will be completely honest. I made my first med error a week or 2 ago, and I immediately went in my mind, fuck. Then I was with another nurse. We talked about it because it was a double sign medication. We both missed it. So I immediately went to my charge. I said, this is what happened. I immediately went to the provider who was sitting right there. This is what happened. Went to the nurse practitioner, all three of them, and we talked about it. Luckily, it was not that big of a deal, and we didn't have to do anything. We just had to wait and see what happened, and we just redosed and retimed other medications. But long story short, it was terrifying in that moment, and I could have not said anything, and that would have been so much worse than just taking a deep breath, being like, well, I fucked up. I'm going to go up the chain of command and tell them what happened so that we can fix this and everyone can be honest. Talked to my manager about it, and she was so sweet, so helpful, and was like, gave me the advice. Everyone makes mistakes, so thank you for owning it. Thank you for coming to me, and I'm glad that we could fix it in A, B, and C, like these different ways. How we also went over how it won't happen next time and move things and switch things. So that's just me being completely open and honest. It happens to everyone. It's going to happen to you. You think you won't, like you can think it won't, but it will. Every nurse I know makes mistakes or has made a mistake. It can be fatal, so you need to own your shit. Own your stuff, especially when you're new and as a new grad. It can be so terrifying. You get a pit in your stomach, and it's just like overwhelming anxiety and panic, but do the right things, own it, and it's going to be fine. Don't act like you didn't do it, or don't act like you didn't make the mistake or thought something else. Just be like, I made a mistake, and get over it, because also nothing's worse than people making mistakes or doing something wrong and then being like, oh, blah, 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 like talking about it. No, just own it, move on. Going along with that, number 9, you cannot please everyone. That's also number 10. Number 9 is you cannot please everyone. You're going to work with so many different kinds of people. Healthcare is one of those things where you work with so many different types of people that are so different. One of your coworkers could be your age. The next is a 50-year-old mom with 4 kids. And then there's another coworker who's a dad and 68 and works weekends. Like, there's just everyone from so many different walks of life, so many different backgrounds, just at different life stages and periods. And you know what? Sometimes as the young one, you're not going to be liked straight up because you're young and you can't change that. So sorry, you're young and hot. Literally, I had that problem, and I was like, what do you want me to do? I'm 24. How is that my problem? But whatever. Number 10, people hate new grads. Sucks, especially working in an ICU or a super specialty unit. Like I was the only new grad when I was hired, and I've been there for a year now, and certain nurses and certain people still treat me like a new grad, and I'm just at this point like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, I've been here a year and you're still acting like that. So some people will never get over it. They're not going to like you. They're not going to be friends. That's not who you're going to go to. You're going to have your other comfort people that you can go to and talk to, and I'm sure you're not the only one. Because if you ask other people who are new grads or younger or newer, they're probably going to say the same thing. So never think it's just you. If someone doesn't like you, they probably don't like other people. They probably have something against whatever. Who cares? You cannot let it get to you. You cannot please everyone, especially as a new grad. Some people just aren't going to like you and not trust your judgment or critical thinking because you are young. And honestly, to a point, I get that and I fully understand that. I have not experienced half of what these nurses have. I haven't even been alive half the time half these nurses have. Sorry. They were probably getting their degree when I was like born. Not my problem. But trust your judgment, trust your instincts, and have other nurses that are super experienced that you can go to that aren't going to be mean about it. So you just have to ignore the other people because you're not going to change them. They're not going to change. Just arm distance length. Honestly, that's what I do. Let them talk and just listen. 11. One of my biggest tips that my preceptor gave me in my orientation and rounds is that, so when you're giving rounds, I know our day shift rounds are a lot scarier than night shift. Day shift rounds, we go around to each patient's room and we have a sheet. We go by body systems of what's going on and just like detailed talk about that patient. It's the bedside nurse, the charge nurse, if there's an NP on, nurse practitioner, any specialist like neuro, nephro, any of those, they'll be there. The dietitian's there. child life is there. Like there's a ton of people. So you're talking to a good 10 or 11 people about your patient and you're going to get questioned. Oh, what was this rate at? Oh, when was the last time they got this medication? Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so when you're getting a report, write everything down by body system and then go into the chart in the doctor's note. Every shift, the doctor has to write an updated note for that patient for your one-liner. That's you start off. You say the patient's name in your one-liner, write it down on a sticky note. Literally word for word. The amount of times that I've been in rounds and after rounds is over and they go, Bailey, that was a great summary, or that was a great like snippet response, like quick and to the point. Thank you. It was your words that I wrote down on a piece of paper. So copy the doctor's note, history, patient one-liner into your report, and everyone's going to think that you give the best report ever. And it's like a pat on the back. Like, thank you. It's your words, but I'm going to use them. So that's such a key. If you're a nurse, you should try to do that and see if you notice a difference. And be prepared for their questions. If you don't know something in rounds, it's okay. They have a computer, they can look it up that they're sitting in front of or walking around with. And yeah, it's embarrassing sometimes, but you just learn every time and just be honest and be like, I don't have that written down, because again, goes back to the making mistakes. Not that it's a mistake, you don't know it, but don't make something up. Like just be honest and be like, yeah, I don't know. So key to rounds, have that doctor's note, because it makes such a difference and makes you sound so smart because you're using their words, so they're going to love it. Number 12, I heard this sermon and I thought it applied perfectly to nursing. The way he was talking about it, I'll just read you the quote and then I'll say how I kind of think about it in nursing. It's, God gave you that bad boss so you won't be like that one day when you become the boss. So every time you get a trial or a person you don't like, the way that I thought about it was like, when you have a hard charge nurse or a charge nurse you don't like, who's judging you, who's mean, who questions you, any of those things, it's because deep down, one day when you're a charge nurse, you know what not to become. I know, that was good, because you eventually are going to be in that position one day and you don't want to act that way because you know what it's like to be on the other end of it. You can apply that to literally anything in your life, but I think it's perfect for nursing, because even if you're not going to be a charge nurse one day, when you're the most experienced nurse on the unit, when everyone else is newer than you, you don't want to be that old mean nurse because you know what it was like to be treated like one of the old mean nurses. So think about that. Next time you're going through something hard or going through a situation with someone, just be like, this is a reminder of what I don't want to be like, and I'm not going to act this way because I know what it's like to be on the other end of it, and just not accept it and be able to move on and forgive and forget and choose peace, because it's not worth it. Number 13 kind of goes along with that, is only focus on what you can control and don't focus on what you can't control. You can only focus on your flow of the day, your med passes, your hygiene, helping the patient. Like, you can only focus on your patient and what you're doing. You can't keep the patient from coding. You can try, but if the patient's going to code, the patient's going to code. If the patient's going to do something, like, as long as you're doing what you can control, it's going to make it a lot easier and a lot safer for you to help with what you can't control. But if you can't control it, you cannot focus on it. You can't play God. You can't control an entire situation, especially in a hospital setting. You have to let other people do their thing. You can only focus on what you're doing with your patient at that time and move on. You can't take everything personally. You have to take it seriously, but you can't take it personally. So, number 14, it's okay to be emotional. I think it's so hard in healthcare to be going through situations, being in the room with a doctor when they tell a family that their kid isn't going to make it, or when they're in the room telling them that they're diagnosed with diabetes and their whole life is going to change. Or you witness a honor walk for a kid donating their organs and you're watching them take their last breaths. Those things are traumatic and scary, and it is okay to be emotional about it. You don't have to have a brave face on all the time. Yeah, in that room with that family, maybe you will keep a brave face and like hold it in for later, but like, it's okay to go in the back and cry. It's okay to cry on your way home. It's okay to cry with your coworkers after. Like, there is no reason you should have to bottle it up the entire time. I know there were a few situations where I wanted to not seem weak or emotional. It is fully okay to be emotional and weak. The stuff we see is traumatic, and you can do little things to make it better, like my little angel wing tattoo. For a couple of my patients that have really impacted me and honestly were traumatic, I got a little tattoo of angel wings and a halo to always remember them for my little PICU angels. I'll show you if you're watching the video, but it's right here. And honestly, that's one of my favorite tattoos because I will always remember some of them. And so it's like a little way of honoring them in my own way. Like everyone has their own thing. Some people journal, some people get tattoos. Like, I don't know. Everyone has their own thing. But apparently mine is my little tattoo. And I also pray for my kids all the time, especially when they pass away or if I know they're passing away. But again, all of that is traumatic. So it is okay to be emotional. And also it is okay to cry with families. I think that it's crazy if people expect you to not be upset when you go through things like this with family members. I remember one of my patients was a chronic kiddo, came in on comfort. We knew they were going to pass. I was talking with mom. She asked me to pray with her, and we both just started bawling. And that is okay in that situation because it was me and the mom and the kid. She was emotional. I was emotional. That was an appropriate time. There are appropriate times, there aren't appropriate times. But if there is a time that you feel that way, you can express your emotions to them. Majority of the time, the parents are going to be grateful that you care so much. It's okay to care. It's okay to be emotional in these situations. So learning to find that balance and be able to process is so important. If you ever need to talk about that, please DM me, or if you go through something and need to talk about it, please, because bottling it up is just not going to work, and that's not how we're going to take care of our emotional and mental health. Number 15, the trauma is real. The things we see, the things we go through, being able to talk to your coworkers. I know my work, when something traumatic happens, you get like 8 free therapy sessions. Go to therapy, talk to your people, process what happened. Like, it's okay to take time. It's okay to figure it out and not know how you're feeling and just feel like overwhelmed. It's okay. It doesn't get easier, but you learn how you react and how you process those emotions. So it's traumatic. Don't ever let someone play it down. Find your balance. Also, this goes into mental health, physical health, inside and outside the hospital, when you're working, when you're not, physical activity, workout classes, mental health, journaling, reading your Bible, going to therapy. I think just being able to find that balance and create that routine is going to make such a difference. And throughout this year, I've learned a lot about finding my own balance and my own routines. I know I've shared a lot of my night shift routines with you guys. And next week I'm back on day shift for my last day shift stint ever. Again, so excited because I love night shift, but I'm going to go through my day shift routines with you guys. I post a lot of those on my TikTok just because I want to share my balance with you. It's, again, the whole balanced with Bailey concept, but we're sharing how we're finding our balances, and we're going to find balance in life because that is the key to being able to process and get through 12-hour shifts physically, mentally, all of the above. 17, take the PTO and call in sick. I don't care. Let's be real. We are just numbers to the hospital. If you call in sick, they have another nurse that's going to float there. If you take your PTO, you get paid time off. That's why you get paid time off, is to use it. I know some nurses are like, I've been here 18 years and I've never called out. Good for you. I called out so that I could have 3 weeks of vacation and only use a week. Like, I don't care. You shouldn't care. It's not that big of a deal. Take the PTO, plan the trip, call in sick. You don't have to be like bending over, throwing up everywhere to call in sick. If you need a mental health day, please do that. Again, you have to be in the right mindset, physically, mentally, everything, to go into work. If you need a mental health day, if you need a break, call in sick. I know we have emergency sick leave where it's like if you call in for a certain amount of shifts, it takes it out of a different balance versus your PTO, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, figure out what all your policies are when it comes to that, how many sick days you can have, because genuinely, if you need it, take it. If there's any ounce of you that is like, I just can't, don't do it. It is not worth putting yourself in that situation and making yourself upset when it's just a job. You do it to help other people, but if you need help, you do not need to be in that situation or that position. That is my rant about sick days and PTO. The last one, 18, is nails. I am a nail girly and I cannot have my nails done. So I made a TikTok about it this morning. I glue them on my 5 days off because I do 3 night shifts, 4 nights off, 3 night shifts. I will get press on nails from the store and put them on so that I can feel like a hot, cute girl outside of work, and then they just come off for work for my 3 days because in the ICU you can't have your nails done. So it's fine. I'm getting over it. Little things like that though. Again, little routines that make me feel good outside of work so I can be the best nurse in work and in that mindset. You just have to find those little routines that you like. Those are the 18 things that I thought about during my shift when I sat down and wrote it all down. I am so proud of myself for hitting a year. I can't believe it's already been a year. It flew by. I know when people say, oh, time flies, like it's going to go by so fast. It has gone by so fast. And I'm so grateful that I started out in the PICU, the pediatric ICU, and I challenged myself to start in such an intense, hard unit and really put myself out there and just prove to myself that I can do it. Again, it's an emotional roller coaster, and sometimes you just go through a month or two where you're like, why am I doing this? I hate everyone. I hate this. And you know what? God put it in your heart for a reason. If you were meant to do it, you're going to do it. It gets better, and I hope with time I gain more confidence because I feel like I can be kind of timid sometimes, not doing certain things, but speaking up on what I think. So I'm excited to get better at that and challenge myself over the next year. I hope you learned something from the episode if you are a nurse or nursing student. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Thanks again for listening. Follow along on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, the Instagram, the TikToks, all of that. And I will see you guys next week on Balanced with Bailey. Love ya. Bye.